I apologize. It is Nick. He leads off.
I get this thing
Listen,
under control.
The easy answer and the answer I assume
Right.
one of them are going to go with is something about the Eagles having to get the offense back on track. A.J. Brown, Nick Sirianni, Kevin Toole, something.
Yeah.
Eminem or
The real answer, and Wild, you know this is a must-win, first and foremost, for Ben Johnson, who this offseason did everything but walk up the rocky steps and spit on them.
That's true.
Take a hammer to the Liberty Bell, put another crack in it.
Another hammer.
Yeah, exactly. When he said, I like explosive plays. Much less we did see just this past weekend. I don't know who tweeted it. Someone very smart, likely handsome, tweeted it. An explosive play from the tush push when the Pittsburgh Steelers turned it into a 50-yard play against these Chicago Bears. Ben Johnson's locker room post-game speeches, they border between corny or inspirational. You've got to beat Nick Sirianni and the Philadelphia Eagles, who you baited this offseason into running even more tush pushes against you. It's a must-win for Ben Johnson and his boy genius reputation.
Wow.
Well, it is a must-win for the Bears, but not for those reasons. It's a must-win, but who are they? Like, one of the mantras of this show is not the standings. 8-3, okay, that's nice, so what? Who've you beaten? You beat one team with the winning record, Pittsburgh, and that was with the backup quarterback, Mason Rudolph. Can you beat, last time you played a team with a winning record, they beat you with Tyler Huntley and beat you badly. And the time before that, you played a team with the winning record, they beat you by 31. So you can beat up on the little chunk change in the league, but how do you stack up against playoff teams? Because that's where you're trying to get. And 4 of their last 5 games after this one are against teams with winning records. So they got to prove to themselves, not just us, themselves, that they are a legitimate team.
Excellent.
I really liked yours.
Thank you.
I think yours was excellent. And I agree with you. I think this is obviously a must-win for the Bears. And it's for the reason that you talked about. They've won 8 out of 9. They've won 4 in a row, but they haven't beaten anybody that's had any sort of significance. And if you want to be taken serious, you've got to beat someone who is serious. And this will be their first opportunity to do that. And at this point, with Caleb, it's up and down. Has he turned the corner? Has he not turned the corner? Nobody knows.
And that's all the reasons why it is an absolute bona fide must-win for the Philadelphia Eagles. For all the question marks around the Bears, for all the fact that they haven't really had many wins. I forget, I had it written down somewhere, but their wins, it's against teams with a collective, it's like, it's not even close. Like, in terms of when you add up all the wins and add up all the losses, it's just they've been beaten up and beating teams that are terrible. And they're even in close games with those terrible teams. And if the Eagles are truly a great team, truly a top team in the NFL, and have the ability to right this ship, you better do it. You better put up a better defensive stand than the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Las Vegas Raiders or the New York Giants, and you certainly better put up more points than the Pittsburgh Steelers with Mason Rudolph. Okay? Kenneth Gainwell can't have more rushing yards than Saquon Barkley. Can't do it. Can't have it. You just can't. You're also at home, etc., etc., etc. So it is 100% a must-win for the Philadelphia Eagles. You had the Cowboys beat, you blew it. You had the Denver Broncos beat, you blew it. You got rolled by the Giants. That was an off game that you could say, it happens. Should have beat the Cowboys. Should have beat the Broncos. Should be a one-loss team right now. But that's not the case. You should have like a cushion for the number 1 seed and home field advantage. But that's not the case. And now your schedule is a little bit harder. relative to, say, what the Rams got a cookie schedule right now, man. It's simple. They got one truly hard game coming up against the Seattle Seahawks. Outside of that, so like first, the home field advantage and first round bye is looking like it's theirs. But if not, this is a game that you got to win. You absolutely positively have to win. And that home field advantage would have been nice to have, especially if you got to go up against the Rams in the playoffs when it's going to be all nice and cold and windy, and have old man Matthew Stafford now have to play in the cold with his old bones. You may have blown that opportunity. But if there's still a chance at that, if like the Seahawks beat, say, the Rams, you got to win these games. You got to win this game, no question about it. I mean, you're going up against Chicago. Then you got the Chargers. So winnable game, winnable game. The Raiders, obviously, winnable game. The Washington Commanders, both of those games, winnable, obviously. And then the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills should, in theory, be the hardest game. But you could beat the Bears, could beat the Chargers, could beat, go boom, 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 boom. So then if the Seahawks do beat the Rams, kind of back in business. But you have to win. You have to win out, which is not easy. You'd have to win the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. And that's what happens when you drop games you should have won. Because now the Rams, they go up against the Panthers. The Cardinals, I mean, maybe. Yeah, the Detroit Lions. That'll be an interesting game. I forgot about that when I was going through that whole rant. You got the Lions and the Seahawks. That's the real juice there. But I mean, it's the Rams have been great. Can't necessarily say the Lions have been a little loosey goosey. And Seattle, again, that's a divisional game at home. Who knows? I mean, heck, you lose this game, you can drop down to the 3 seed. If the Bears now would have 9 wins, Eagles would be 8-4. Now you lose the ability. Now you're in the 3 seed, and then who kind of knows what's going on? Right now, if you're the 2 seed, you're shaping up to maybe play the 49ers. You'd love that. Now, again, the Lions are going to play the Packers, so that'll be interesting to see how that flips around. Maybe, again, you'd have to start to do all the math and do the buys, and I'm not going to do that all right now. But, you want to get there. If you drop to 3, you then would go up against the 6 seed, which, again, that will probably be flip-flopping around over these next few weeks. And then, again, depending on, then the Bears are at 2, then you beat it just things start to get interesting. It's really interesting because you have to imagine right now, if the Eagles do not get the 1 seed, then it's going to be between the Rams and the Seahawks most likely. And they're going to play each other again, obviously. So then that means the 5 seed would be the Seahawks and the Rams. And I think an incredibly difficult team. An incredibly difficult matchup. Where the Eagles, and if they are at the 2 seed, it depends. It's just, again, things can get goofy. Things can definitely get goofy. You would have 2-7, 3-6, and 4-5. I don't know. You just, at this point, you'd want the bye. You'd want home field advantage. But even if not, it is kind of interesting because getting the 2 seed would theoretically not be the worst case scenario. It could almost be similar to kind of what happened a little bit with what happened with the Commanders and the Lions and whatnot, where if you're the 2 seed, really lucky situation would be you're going up against, like, say, the 49ers or something, and the Lions or Packers, one of them gets kind of knocked out, and the Bears are in there, and then the Bears 3-6, like, it's just if the Bears take care of business, then the Rams would be forced to play most likely the Seahawks, or reverse, the Seahawks would have to play the Rams, which would be a brutal matchup for them. If they don't, if the Bears are a little bit of fool's gold and now they lose to, say, the Packers, like, then the Eagles are now potentially on the hook to have to play the harder team in that next round. So there's no real easy way to game it right now, or what's like the most ideal path. And when things are kind of messy like that, my mentality is always like, you're either great or you're not. You're either a top team or not. You either can beat the Bucks, the Bears, the Seahawks, the Packers, the Rams, etc., etc., etc. And I just think at this point, the safest path forward is just be home, be brutal, let that weather get cold, and then welcome Sam Darnold to your arena. Welcome Matthew Stafford to your arena. Welcome Caleb to your arena, right? Welcome all the, I mean, when you go through that list of the potential quarterbacks and the teams that you'll potentially have to face, it's like, all right, Chicago, come on down, right? It's like, all right, Sam Darnold, you said you're ready for this moment. All right, it's getting a little cold. It's getting a little intense. You got the fans who are ready to get wild. Like, all right, Brock Purdy, are you healthy or are you not? Come on, bud. If you can't rely on Christian McCaffrey, better make some big plays, right? And Matthew Stafford, you guys said that you're ready to do this. All right, come on, let's do it. You're not in Kansas anymore, so yeah. These games really matter. These games really matter. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles? Do you think it's not a must-win for them? Apparently, everyone is saying it's a must-win for the Bears and not the Eagles. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.